Jesus is leading. Here's the question: are we following? Jesus in Luke chapter 5, I love this text. He is calling his disciples for the first time. He's going to ask them to leave everything and come follow him. So what do we learn about this initial encounter with Jesus and, again, his disciples? It's a fascinating study that we want to apply to our lives. We have learned so far in this amazing text that Jesus is looking for faith. Jesus asked Peter to do something by casting the net into an area of the water that he already tried so many times. He's asking Peter to trust him. Would Peter, again, place faith in Jesus' wisdom and knowledge or his own? Isn't that so true with us? When Jesus is leading us, he's not looking for our wisdom. He's looking for us to trust in his wisdom ultimately. Here's what we also learn from this encounter with Jesus and his disciples. Jesus is looking for our submission. Jesus will, here we see this in the text too, he will honor our submission to his plan, his wisdom, and his way. So in Luke chapter 5, verse 5, this wonderful verse right here, it says this. And Simon answered. Now, this is in response to Jesus saying, cast the nets on the other side of the boat, okay? Simon answered, Master, we toiled all night and took nothing. Now, here's the phrase I want you to see. But at your word. That is so good. At your word, Jesus, I will let down the nets. Now, sit on that just for a second. How can that apply to your life and mine right now? I don't see it, Lord. This doesn't make much sense, Lord. The culture's going crazy, Lord. I don't really understand what you're asking me to do or the purposes for it, but at your word. Again, I'm confused. My vision is blurred, but at your word. That command sounds to be a little bit strange, or do I really have to do that? My friends are pressuring me, blah, 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 blah. But at your word, I will let down the nets. It's so beautiful. See what Peter's doing there as an early lesson of leadership again from Jesus Christ? He says, I can't see it, but at your word, he says, I will do it. Kind of reminds me of a few other characters in the Bible. How about Noah? Noah, I can't see the flood, but at your word, I will build the ark, God. Abraham, I can't see where I'm going, but you're asking me to go to this other country? At your word, I will do it. Moses says, I can't speak, Lord. Really, I can't speak, but at your word, I will go down to Egypt. Joshua, he says, this whole trumpet thing and Jericho, I don't really know how that's going to happen, but at your word, we will march and we will blow the trumpets. How about David? This Goliath guy, he's pretty big. But at your word, I will gather the smooth stone and the sling, and we will see what you will do, God. And then there's Peter, right here, Luke 5. And Peter says, I'm the fisherman, Jesus. You're the carpenter. But at your word, I will let down the nets. And notice the response of what Jesus does as Peter submits to Jesus. It says in verses 6 and 7, it says this, and when they had done this, surrendered to Jesus, they enclosed a large number of fish, and their nets were breaking. They signaled to their partners, come over here, help us. And they came and filled the boats. Look what it says, and filled the boats again, so that they began to sink. What does that look like? That looks hilarious. There were so many fish captured and gathered, the boats began to sink. What does Jesus do? He honors the submission of Simon Peter, and he provides abundantly. You, me, right now, when we're following Jesus, we honor him, we surrender to him, and he provides for us. Call us today to see what Christ will do in your life through faith and submission to the leader of leaders. God bless you today.